Before I get into this review of Hack GU, the manga or light novel or whatever have you, I want to give my thoughts on Hack series as a whole and how it came to be and what I've learned since going through the game Hack GU Last Recode. And the video I witnessed like a couple of days ago, actually, from Shinta Reviews. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. If you're fans of Hack GU, it gives you more perspective on the series and how it should have been adapted, how it came to be. Like now, my first exposure to the series was pretty much Hack Sign. I watched all the episodes of Hack Sign. Would later follow with Hack Roots, and followed by that would be Hack GU Trilogy. I guess the 3D adaptation from the game, which I don't know why they never did that in anime format. It never made sense to me, but they did do an OVA returner. After that, it was cancelled, and pretty much certain things that did not make sense. If at that point in time you did not read the novel or the game or play the games, you wouldn't have known what was going on. So it never made any sense to me. And now I figured out why that is. It's because the games that were remastered for the PS4 were originally for the PS2, so I did not know that. I appreciate this video because it brought more information. Now, let me clarify, just because this is like a rundown of the fact that Hat Roots should have been adapted the way the manga or even the games did it, is not going to make me less of a fan. It's not going to make me despise the series. I said the same thing about Chrono Crusade, going through the manga. Obviously, the manga is a little bit different from the anime. Same thing here with Hat Roots. And still to this day, my favorite, the most emotional scene in the series is when Haseo sees Shino getting PK'd by Tri-Edge in the anime. Dubbed or subbed, I don't really care if you want to debate that, but that is one of the most emotional scenes in anime, period. Despite the adaptation, and even now, with all the information I have now, I still value the series as a whole. And obviously, there have been other series that follows, like Hack Quantum, and even Hack the Legends of the Twilight, which they all coincide with one another, either the prequels or the sequels to the next what follows. But really, the go-to are Hack Sign and Hack GU for me. So now I'm not going to sit here and say I hope Hack GU comes out in the anime in some anime capacity in the future, because that could be falling on deaf ears. But I will say is there's certain rooms for improvement, I think. But I still value the series Hat Roots, so that's why I'm going for the manga right now. Obviously, that's on me for not trying to look this up even sooner. But then again, I didn't even know any better. So with videos like this from Shinta Reviews, I kind of appreciate more information on this, and it kind of makes me realize I'm not the only one that feels strongly about this. And like I said, it kind of coincides with what I felt by playing the game. I feel like this could have been incorporated into the anime with multiple seasons, not just 26 or 25 episodes. And had that been the case, and had it been properly adapted the way it should have been, I feel like maybe Hack Roots or Hack GU may get mentioned in the same breath with Sword Art Online. Now, that's not to say Sword Art Online isn't without its problems as well. There's a lot of complaints. Make no mistake about it. I mean, we've got season 3 right now, but it's not always been sunshine and Christmas with Sword Art Online. There's been a lot of complaints with season 1. So, I mean, no anime series is perfect, but again, it's just, I'm not saying I despise the series. I with Hat Roots, I say I'm a little bit disappointed because they could have added so much more. It's crazy. So, and that's why I'm hyped about going for the manga, because it's like a reset button for me. Now I know all of this. So let's get started in this review. We pretty much start off with Haseo in a different form. It's like base form, I guess you can call it. When he doesn't get altered, I'd never understood why that was so different. I mean, even the G trilogy movie, like he grasps the same form, but it wasn't the same thing here in the manga. He just goes around PKing people, asking about Tri-Edge the same way he did in the anime. Introduction to Sakaki and I guess Atoli of Moontree, the Moontree Guild. And I've seen these. Obviously, I've seen part of this in the game, so I already know what's to come. Even with the 3D GU trilogy movie that came out, so Atoli is a big part of this story. Obviously, the lookalike of Shino with a different avatar, it automatically catches the eye of Haseo. And the thing about this is we see Haseo saving somebody at the beginning, and it's pretty much Shino, unless I'm mistaken. And that to me is like, okay, that was different. And so certain things like that piece itself together. Obviously, I watched the anime before the manga. I read the manga, but obviously certain things like that jump out here. So wow, that did not happen in the anime, nor did it happen in a 3D trilogy movie or the OVA. So, and by the way, even though that was a better adaptation, I thought it still didn't make a whole lot of sense, and there's not a whole lot you can ram into an hour plus movie. So it's a rush job, it really is. So that's why I at some point I want a reboot in the anime of Hachiyu. I would love that, but don't know if it's ever going to happen. But you can never say never in anime. I mean, this year's proof of it. So that's my thoughts on that. So obviously we go through. Haseo gets kind of lectured by Sakaki and then bumps into Atoli. Obviously, now this is kind of different too because she's a lot more. She falls down and she obviously grabs the attention of Haseo. It's pretty much the combination. Haseo is pretty much the combination. I've heard this comparison before of Alan Walker, the appearance of Alan Walker's brother, somewhat, and the personality of Sasuke Uchiha. He has the mannerisms and the appearance of both of those characters. And by the way, those two are my favorite characters in anime, so it's not a bad combination. So obviously Haseo kind of like distances himself. Then he gets an email from Oban about learning about Triad and where he's going to appear next and where he's going to return. Very similar, but there's a lot of differences. Number one is the location of Oban appearing at at the cathedral. Last time I believe it in the anime, or at least in the Geo trilogy movie, he appears at the Twilight Brigade HQ, I guess, at the meeting spot where Haseo and even Oban and Shino have a connection there. So that was completely different. Like the locations, the place where Shino got PK'd, that's what I'm about where Triad is going to meet. You have the guts to face him here, and obviously Haseo gone home, but in way over his head. It's similar, but obviously it's a better adaptation here in the manga. They're going to introduce new things, and I'm kind of curious where the manga goes in difference to the anime. Same way I invested in Chrono Crusade. I'm kind of invested in where that takes the story in comparison. It's the same thing here. Obviously, the similarities with Haseo, Oban, and obviously Triad. Triad appears, and as this is happening, you see Oban walking out the door. So that's kind of unique and different to how the anime portrayed it. That's kind of cool. The fight goes on. Haseo gets owned. I mean, it's night and day. Obviously, he's gonna have to progress. If you play the games, I won't spoil it. If you don't play the games, I won't spoil it for you if you're part fan of the series. But I'm pretty sure at this point you have to be somewhat aware of Hachiyu if you're not. If nothing else, I hope this video gets to new eyes and maybe they'll take a look at those videos. Oh, maybe I should check this out. That's kind of what I hope with these videos. Because I feel like Hachiyu doesn't get a whole lot of love, and I feel like it's a very underrated series, and rightfully so, but there's so much potential in this. Whether you play the games, or whether you read the manga, or even whether you've watched Hack Roots, there's so much room for potential in this. So, hopefully that's the case, but obviously there's certain things that are different between one another. With Haseo being defeated, I'm assuming his character's going to get erased like it did in the anime, and he's going to come back in level 1. That's pretty much how it happened in the game. There's certain characters to be introduced, like we get cameos in the OVA Returner, the Hachiyu Returner OVA. That after that got cancelled. The characters that never made it in the anime that appeared in this OVA, and I never understood why that is. Even Sakaki made a cameo, and at that point I wasn't clear who that was, but now, okay, now it makes sense. But Hat Roots didn't kind of adapt that very well, so that's kind of like where I'm disappointed with this. But all in all, I am a fan of the series. That's not going to change, even with me going through the manga and seeing the differences between Hat Roots and Hachiyu. It's obviously night and day. So obviously, I can't wait to see where this goes next. I doubt I'm going to do live reactions to each chapter. I'm probably just going to give my initial thoughts on the series. But this just give my thoughts not only chapter 1, but also my thoughts on the series, not just Hat Roots or Hachiyu, but Hack series as a whole, and where my history reads. And like I said, I will leave a link to Shinta Review's video about this. I appreciated it because it gives me more insight and it educates me further. Obviously, I was going into this blind, so I appreciate that. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more. Catch you guys later. Bye.